Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Gina Autumn Romeo and today I'm going to alter another faceplate. Now I've done a few of these before and I tend to have problems sometimes clearing out the little place where the screws go and where the light switch goes. So today I thought I would try to do something different, and so I covered them with the double-sided foam tape or foam dots. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a layer of gesso on, and then I'm going to dry that. That first coat looked a little thin, so I thought I'd give it one more coat and give it a good dry. And then take another look and see how it looked, and it looked pretty good. So I removed the top tabs off, which exposed the sticky part, which came in really handy. It helped to hold my stencil on. This wood grain stencil by Tim Holtz is new and I couldn't wait to use it. I've done several faceplates, variations of brick, but I've never done one with a wood grain, so I was really excited. I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but I thought I'd give it a try. And as you can see, I'm looking around after I dried the modeling paste, and it looked like I missed a piece that's on the side, and I wanted to have the modeling paste everywhere so that there was the wood grain would be represented everywhere. It didn't have to be perfect, so I didn't try to put the stencil back over it, but I did want to kind of just wipe on some modeling paste, and I gave that a try. Now as a base, I decided to go ahead and put a layer of white acrylic paint. I plan on using some ink sprays, and sometimes I have trouble with my ink spray with the color absorbing into what I'm spraying on. And the modeling paste, this one is homemade and it's got baby powder in it, and I figured it would absorb the color, so I thought I would go ahead and give it a nice coat with acrylic paint first to see if I could help prevent some of the color absorbing later on. Got a nice coat on, and then I dried it. Now the first spray I'm going to use is actually an acrylic spray. It's called, let's see, Art Spray. It's by Mixed Media, and this color is Cocoa. And as you can see, I haven't used it in a while, and there must be a little bit of a clog going on in my sprayer because the spray really kind of came out pretty funky. So I was using a brush to kind of spread it around, which made things better, but it normally should come out in a regular spray. Now I'm switching over now to a Lindy's, and this is an ink spray. This is part of the Starburst collection, and this color is Cattail Copper Brown. I thought that would give a nice, rich, deep color. From here, the next color, it's another Lindy's in the Starburst spray collection, and this is Canna Lily Burnt Orange. That spray came out really well. And it's going to help me cover the edges, which had not been previously hit before. Now see, I was shaking that and it flew everywhere. But since it came out, I couldn't rely on how the spray would come out. This is another way to use your ink sprays, or in this case acrylic spray. You can take the lid off and then just dab it. But you have to be very careful if you take the lid off, that you don't spill all of it. Waste your product, plus it could ruin your project. I switched over to a white Lindy's spray. This one's called Frozen Jack Frost. I realized I kind of wanted to lighten it up just a little bit. It was a little darker than I wanted. Now there is that place in the middle that looks really light, and to be honest, I'm not really sure why. I don't know if I didn't dry it all the way, or maybe it didn't get a good enough coating of white acrylic paint. But I moved on to another color. I thought, again, I'm trying to lighten it up. And this one is by Crea Box. And it's also an acrylic spray. And what is the color? Well, it's yellow, but I think it's just yellow. Didn't have any kind of fancy name. As you can see, I added some white acrylic paint. I was just desperate to try to lighten it up. And it did lighten up a little bit, but it's still not quite giving me the look that I really wanted. So I'm trying to look now to figure out what else I can do. I believe I gave it another spray of the yellow. Here I picked a dry brush, and I thought I could maybe pull some of the ink off that way. And it kind of worked, but again, and look, I ended up going all the way down and going through my modeling paste, which is definitely not what I wanted to do. I knew I needed to try to fix it. So I dried what was already there, and I wanted to come back over with some modeling paste and correct that area. As you can see, I'm struggling to get it right in the exact same place. I thought, well, it's so dark and I'm not able to fix it, lighten it up the way I want. So I had an idea that I would go ahead and put modeling paste all over everything. And that way the dark part could just be in the background, which is perfectly fine. Because I really wanted the majority, the main part of the wood grain to be much, much lighter. So here I'm just cleaning up the sides, and again, looks like I missed that whole side, so I'm trying to go ahead and add a little bit of the modeling paste there. As you can see, I added more around all of the edges, and I dried that. Touching it a little bit just to make sure it's dry. Now I'm starting with lighter spray, and I believe that one I started with the Canna Lily Burnt Orange, and then went right to an even lighter spray, which was the yellow. This is a little more of what I was going for. It's still a little light. I wanted to try to deepen some of the tones just a little bit to give it a really nice rich color. So I went a little bit darker and went back to the Cattail Copper Brown. That's the ink spray from Lindy's. I wanted to give it a little bit of bling. not really bling, because wood doesn't necessarily bling, but I wanted to give a little bit of a shine, like it was a pretty waxed floor. And here I'm using a gold glitter, And this is the ink spray, and it's from Jen Hadfield. I'm coming back and adding a little bit more of the Jack Frost. I considered leaving it like that, but yeah, I couldn't. So I am blending it a little bit, but not as thoroughly as I normally would. Kind of barely touching it, just kind of blotting almost. As you can see on the left, where I just sprayed, I went back with a little bit of a darker spray, and I believe that was the burnt orange. It looks kind of funny. It has a funny pale. It's just pale, and I can't figure out. Again, I don't know why it looked like that. So I'm going to come back later and work on that spot. What I'm doing right now. I went with the darker cattail copper brown from Lindy's. I wanted to see if that would work. I was hesitant to commit to going all the way back to the cocoa from the acrylic spray that I started out with, because I knew how dark that was, and once it was that dark, I knew I had a real hard time trying to lighten it up. So I didn't want to go right to the very darkest color I had. I was trying to see if I could fix the problem with a lighter shade. Adding a little bit of the orange, hoping that helps. It doesn't. So here I go. I gave up and realized that the only thing that would really fix it would be the very dark color that I used in the beginning. I believe that company is called Maraba and an art spray. It is an acrylic spray, and it's got mixed media on the front. And to be honest, I'm not really sure where I got that. I came back in with some of the yellow just to see if I could lighten it just a tad. And then I dried that. I thought, I probably ought to go ahead and take my little foam dots out. I didn't really realize that, I pull them out, and of course there would not be any ink there, so that's kind of the trade-off, I guess. And I realized I'd forgotten to take the middle part out. Now when I pushed it down, I realized that it looked like it was going to pull up the modeling paste that I had down. So I had to push it back the other way. Now I think if I were to do this again, try to use the foam, the little foam dots and the rectangles, I would either remove them earlier, or especially for the middle part where the little switch is going to go, I would probably make cuts in it so that I can just fold all of it all the way back. And I am able to work it out, so I was glad, because I was really liking how it was turning out, and I was glad that I was able to save it and not end up ruining my project. So I'm done with the heavy part. Now I realize, okay, I need to fill in my little little white spots there where the screws are going to go. I guess the screws could cover a large part, but I just wanted to make sure it matched so I didn't have to worry about it. And again, now that did not even have any gesso on it, so I used the white acrylic paint as a base and just sprayed in some of the colors that I've been using. What I had down was not very dark, which is fine. I mean, it looked okay, but it was a little pale, and I did want it a little darker. So I pulled back out that cocoa color. But again, as you can see, I'm using it really sparingly. I just at this point did not want to do anything to mess up the project. And then I gave that a good dry. I wasn't quite done. I realized I needed to do where the light switch was going to be as well, and I wanted to darken up the holes again just a little bit more. It just wasn't quite dark enough. That's it. I'm done. I was really pleased with how it turned out. I hope you enjoyed this as well and would be willing to give it a try. If I can do it, you can do it. If you enjoyed this project, hit the like button and make sure to subscribe to my channel for more awesome projects like this one. You can help pick my next project. Choose between an art journal page, mixed media canvas, or your choice. Hope to see you again soon. Bye.